Hey guys, what's up? Lightboltjoe here. Today we're going to discuss the 2003 classic horror film Freddy vs. Jason. We have Jason Ritter in it. We have Chris Marquette. Robert Englund is Freddy Krueger. Now, Kane Hodder is very well known for playing Jason Voorhees within the Friday the 13th film series, but he was not Jason Voorhees in this film. Ronnie Yu directed this film. It's an hour and 37 minutes long. So why Kane wasn't Jason was because Ronnie wanted the distinct height difference between Jason Voorhees and Freddy Krueger. Robert Englund is 5'8", 5'9", something like that. So he wanted Jason to be much, much taller because in all the films it's perceived that Jason's, really, really tall. But in real life, Kane is not, he's tall, but he's not super, super tall, right? So he wanted to find an actor who was super, super tall. So this is a very simple plot, which is funny to say because you're like, how could one film series meet another film series? There's like 11 Friday the 13th, right? This would be the 11th technically. And then this is the, 7th, 8th Nightmare on Elm Street film, right? So you have Freddy Krueger, who is a pedophile burn victim who haunts the dreams of children and kills them in their sleep, right? 1, 2, Freddy's coming for you. 3, 4, better lock your door. 5, 6, grab your crucifix. 7, 8, stay up late. 9, 10, never sleep again. What a lovely bed rhyme. And then Friday the 13th, the very first film, came out in the 70s and... Came out in the 70s? Early 80s? Might have been the early 80s. Kevin Bacon was in the very, very first film. He gets killed in a bunk bed. Arrow through the chest. It was beautiful. But it turns out Jason Voorhees is not the villain of Friday the 13th. Friday the 13th, his mother kills everyone. And then he comes about in the second one. And then gets the hockey mask in the third one. So the hockey masked Jason Voorhees that we all know and love didn't happen until the third Friday the 13th. We gotta talk about all those films. We gotta talk about all those films. Anywho, so this film, you have high school kids, right? One of them lives on Elm Street in the house, Nancy's house. And Freddy's trying to cause chaos again. But the kids aren't afraid of him anymore because they're desensitized with modern video games and movies and stuff. So he's like, how the hell am I going to inflict fear? Why am I not powerful? I need fear. So then he decides to resurrect Jason yet again, because Jason's always dead and comes back from the dead as a zombie, right? And so Jason comes back and kills on Freddy's behalf, causing the fear again. So Freddy gets stronger because Jason is killing, so it's this nice codependency kind of thing. And then at one point, Jason kind of smarts up and he's like, he doesn't want to be taken advantage of, and then of Freddy. So then there's this fire that Freddy's afraid of versus water that Jason's afraid of seeing. Super cool in the sewers, and it's green and it's creepy, and there's fire and there's water and Jason's drowning and it's creepy. And then there's the big final battle scene at the end on the dock. Again, fire on the water, and the two collide and kill each other, and Jason comes out of the water with Freddy's head, but then Freddy winks and Robert laughs. So you're like, haha, maybe there's another one, because the kids actually grab Freddy out of the dream world and into the real world. So simple, right? Very simple plot, but it was the first of its kind. You didn't really have a horror cinematic universe until that kind of moment. You had Alien vs. Predator come together, and you're like, oh my god, this is so cool. And you had Freddy vs. Jason come together, and you're like, oh my god, this is so cool. And then you have all these other film series starting to come together. The Avengers film series, everyone talks about. Marvel is just on top of its game, minus the whole Sony drama going on with Spider-Man, but they'll figure it out. Warner Brothers has the DC universe, to an extent. They're working on it. And then Warner Brothers also has the Conjuring universe. Who would have thought that making 3 Conjuring movies, 3 Annabelle films, The Nun, The Curse of La Llorona, eventually we're getting The Crooked Man, we're getting something else, Second Nun. It all comes together so perfectly. Some of it's far-fetched. Most of it is based off of, Ed and Lorraine Warren's, paranormal investigations. But it's so cool having all of these films intertwined together because of this character knowing this character and this happening when this is happening and stuff like that. So Freddy vs. Jason was really, really neat. I was in 7th grade, I believe, when this film came out. I was in 8th grade when this film came out. I was 13 in 2003, so whatever grade that was. The end of 7th or beginning of 8th, whatever it was. And it was cool, you know, because it's like a horror film and you get creeped out and you're like, and then, but one of my favorite things about this film is Jason Ritter and Chris Marquette working together, because they were on a TV show called Joan of Arcadia on CBS a long time ago. I want to say 2004, 2005. So they played characters in this film together, and then they were on Joan of Arcadia the next year, and then season 2 the year after that. It was only on for 2 seasons, and I love that show. It's an amazing coming-of-age kind of show. It's just so heartfelt, and you're like, oh, real-world drama, and like, you know, it's cool. And I know I've talked about this before, but I really like when actors work together in other projects together. Like, Chris Pratt and Anna Faris are in so many movies together, and it's so awesome. And like, you have, I mean, obviously, like any Avengers film has other characters, other actors working with other actors, but they're playing the same character. I'm talking about the same actors working together, but as different characters. So really like that. I think it's really neat seeing that. Like Dwayne Johnson and Kevin Hart are in a bunch of movies together, but they're not playing the same character, you know? Who else? Let's see. Seth Rogen and Jonah Hill are in a lot of movies together, but they're not playing the same character. So that's the thing. Like, I like seeing that. Aubrey Plaza and Zac Efron are in 2 movies together, but playing different characters. I like seeing that. Again, I can keep going. It's just fun seeing that. So I love watching this film, especially on Friday the 13th. Happy Friday the 13th, everyone! Stay spooky, stay safe, and make sure, you know, if you hear just be ready. Grab your machete, put your hockey mask on, and go fight some zombies. You're good to go. Mucho mahalo, guys.